Welcome to the Wisdom for Life podcast with David Baker. David was a former paratrooper in the 82nd Airborne Division and for over 30 years has been a preacher. He has written 5 books and is an Amazon #1 best-selling author. He is the chaplain at the county jail, pastors a church, and is the father of 11 children. Yes, 11. This podcast is here to give you wisdom for your family, your marriage, your children, your finances, your health, and your life. And now, the host of Wisdom of Life podcast, David Baker.
Hello and welcome. My name is David Baker, your host for the Wisdom for Life podcast. And we're glad that you're here. Looking forward to another episode. This is episode number 18 and getting back on some basic topics that we need for our life. But welcome. It is Wisdom for Life, giving you wisdom for your family, your children, your marriage, your finances, your health, and your country. We want to learn you something, okay? As they say in the South, we got a joke for you. Want to give you something we love, something we hate, and we're adding a new section in, a quote. I love a good quote. We're going to have a quote of the week and then a gift we'll give you before we close. Make sure if you have a question, email us, askpastorbaker@gmail.com, and wherever you listen to podcasts, give us a good review. We'd sure appreciate that. All right, I'm going to jump right in. Oh, by the way, if you want to find us anywhere out there, Wisdom for Life Podcast YouTube channel, you can watch the videos of these, wisdomforlifepodcast.com, and then on Facebook, David Mark Baker. All right, so question, how much would you pay for a watermelon? Do you like watermelon? I don't care for watermelon. I don't care for the taste of it. I don't like watermelon candy even. I don't know why. Just not a favorite taste of mine. But how much would you pay for a watermelon? What do you think the most anyone ever paid for a watermelon was? What would you guess? Okay, $100, $200, $500, $1,000. Somebody paid $1,000 for a watermelon? How about $6,125? Can you believe that? Okay, $6,125. In 2008, a man in Japan bought a nearly black Dunsike watermelon for 650,000 won, which is $6,125. The specialty fruit is only grown on the island of Hokkaido. My Japanese is a little rough, but according to the Japanese agriculture expert at Los Angeles Times, it is crisp and hard with a different level of sweetness than watermelon we're used to eating. Okay, it may be good, but could not imagine $6,125 for a watermelon. So go ask your friends, see how close they get to that. All right, we got a joke for you. This is a Bubba joke. Bubba joke is more of a country joke, and we live in Tennessee. I was born in Tennessee, so we're not making fun of people. We like these. Here we go. Back in Kentucky, you didn't see too many people hand gliding. Bubba decided to save up and get a hand glider. So he takes off to the highest mountain. After struggling to the top, he gets ready to take flight. He takes off running, reaches the edge, and into the wind he goes. Meanwhile, Ma and Pa Hicks were sitting on the front porch talking about the good old days when Ma spots the biggest bird she'd ever seen. "Look at the size of that bird, Pa," she explained. Pa straightens up and said, "Get my gun, Ma." She runs into the house and brings back his pump shotgun. He takes careful aim. Bang, bang. The monster-sized bird continues to sail silently over the top of the trees. "I think you missed him, Pa," she said. "Yeah," he replies, "but at least he let go of Bubba." So there you go. biggest bird carrying Bubba. All right, things I love. I love children growing and maturing. I love that. And of course, they're so precious as babies, and you love that precious part of it too. But I love the maturing of children. My oldest is 30, and we get to work together. And boy, you love that. Seeing them have their own family, their own children. Seeing new ones in our family start dating. See other ones getting married. I have a son that's getting married in a little over a month. And how precious that is to get to deal with them on that level. So I just love kids growing and maturing, dating, marrying, graduating school. Love all that. It's such a great thing to watch and see. Things I hate, when kids growing up involves them leaving. Okay, leaving. We love our kids, we love our family, and we know we didn't rear them for us or for God. And so sometimes that's going to be going off, leaving, going for training, going to college, or going on a mission field, or whatever God's called them to do. And so that's sort of tough. We said bye to a couple of them to go to college this year, and I had to go run an errand and came back, and they said there were a whole bunch of weeping women in the house. My wife and girls weeping for the boys that had to go off to that. So anyway, that is a tough thing, but it's a blessing to watch them grow and mature, but it's tough to be able to have to see them go. All right, and the news section, the quote of the week, okay? Get ready, listen carefully. This is probably my favorite quote, okay? Probably my favorite quote. Here it is. Remember, not everything you read on the internet is true. By Abraham Lincoln. All right. Of course, that's a joke. I don't think he said that. The quote is true, but I don't think he had the internet back in the 1860s. But anyway, no, the real quote is this: "That which does not kill you makes us stronger," by Friedrich Nietzsche. Friedrich Nietzsche. Why are you saying it like that? Because I listened to a few pronunciations of it to make sure I was going to say it right. Because here's how it's spelled: Nietzsche. Okay, so didn't want to butcher it too bad. He was a composer, philosopher, poet, writer. He passed away. At age 44, he suffered collapse and lost his mental faculties. He lived for a few years and until his death. And anyway, tough thing, but anyway, good quote. Again, I'll have a lot of quotes, and I don't know which one's my favorite. But in life, there are things that will try to hurt you, put you down. If it doesn't kill you, it's going to make you stronger, and that's what God will use. All right, our main thought for the day is work. Work for our children. Work with our children, to teach our children how to work. There are a lot of things that I want my children to know, but there was probably nothing as important that our children needed to get besides the spiritual salvation, but to be able to work hard. It doesn't matter what they're going to do in life. If they can't work hard, then it's not going to be good. If it's a preacher or a lawyer or a doctor or a machinist or a woodworker or whatever, if you can't work hard, then you're not going to be able to be successful in it. And so we spent a lot of time teaching our children, training our children how to work and how to work hard. And a lot of philosophies, a lot of thoughts from when should a child start working? Way before they realize that work is work. It's amazing with children. What are their toys? A little hammer, a little lawnmower. What are their toys? Babies, taking care of babies. A kitchen set, cooking. It's interesting, the things we call work, the children have them as toys. The children have them as toys. Children should start working before they realize that work is a dirty 4-letter word. Work is life. Don't ever give your children work punishments. Okay, oh, you did this bad, you got to go work. Work should not be a punishment. They will learn to hate work. Our children should enjoy work. Work is fulfilling. Work is a blessing. Work is where you get to go in life and do things. And so from the time they're little, literally from the time they can walk, we had them working. What? Now, we couldn't get very much an hour for them, but no. Working, hey, throw this away for mommy. Okay. Every little toddler is, okay, all right, go do this for mommy, go pick this for mommy, go do this for mommy, and have them running all day long. Guess what? They love it. And guess what? They learn to obey and listen and to do right. From the time they're old enough to do anything, let them work. When they can barely straighten their bed, let them make their bed. Well, it's not going to look as good as I need it to look. Then wait till they come out of the room, then you fix it like it needs to be, but let them work. Anything that they can do, even if they can't quite do it, but they can almost do it, let them. For a while, my wife was doing about 20 loads of laundry a week. 11 children, 20 loads of laundry. And I said, no way, my wife's going to wear out. That is not your job. You do not need to do 20 loads of laundry. So here's what we're going to do. Big family meeting. All right, you're going to pair up. Oldest with youngest. Next oldest, next youngest. Next oldest, next youngest. That's your buddy. And you guys will do laundry together. All right? So in the beginning, the older one had to do it for the younger. But after a few years, guess what? The younger ended up doing it for the older because the older taught them. And so literally it had that way. The younger still does laundry with the older ones and help. So anything they can do. Okay, they don't do it as good as you'll do it. That's okay. Get them started. Start it to work. Anything they can do. When our boys were little, they started working at Granddad's farm, and he'd pay them a little bit of money. Wow. And Granddad would help teach them to work and how to work hard and how not to lollygag and how to run, son, go, walk. Hey, act like you got a purpose in life. All those things from my dad. How important that is to teach our kids to work. It's amazing in our society, the women are far surpassing the men today with college and work and jobs and CEOs and income. The women are on the growth, men are not. Why? Because in our society, there are still, quote, jobs inside the home that the women need to do, but all the work in the farm that the men used to do, there's not much. Hey, it doesn't take long to weed eat a quarter of an acre or less to mow it, all right? When I was a kid, we grew up on a farm, and 350 acres at the time, 100 head of cattle and corn and different crops we grew, and it was work, a lot of work. And we didn't like it. So when we moved to Iowa, yay, we live in a cul-de-sac, no farm. Not my dad. My dad went to work and found a farmer. He said, hey, I got 2 boys. They need to work. I don't even care if you pay them. Just work them. Floyd Kenyon would pick us up, take us through his gigantic mile-long fields, Iowa farms, and boy, we would work. And boy, what a good thing that was. We didn't enjoy it, but we got paid. We saved money. We learned the value of work and how important that is. So I'm going to give you a few principles here from Proverbs, and this is in my big book on how to raise rich kids. I want to give you a few of those, just basic principles. I'm not going to give you the whole chapters there for time. But Lamentations 3:27, it is good for a man that he bear the yoke in his youth. It is good for a man that he bear the yoke in his youth. It's good for people to work. So in our society, I was starting to say and didn't finish it, women still have jobs they do, and the girls grow up knowing how to work. The boys play football, play basketball, play soccer, play video games, so they grow up wanting to what? Play. Okay? No, they should grow up wanting to work. My boys may not be the best athletes in every sport, but guess what? They know how to work. And to be able to have a 19-year-old that knows how to work and build anything and making $35 an hour, learning because he knows how to work, what an amazing thing that can be. And anyway, all the kids. So, all right, some principles. If you work hard and are righteous, you'll tend to life. Proverbs 10:16. The labor of the righteous tendeth to life, but the fruit of the wicked is sin. The labor of the righteous tendeth to life. You want to have a good life? Okay? Work and do right. If you work hard, you will increase, but not to be rich. Wealth gotten by vanity shall be diminished, but he that gathers by labor shall increase. Oh, I need money. No, you don't. You need to work. You need to labor. Well, I made money. If you made it stealing or selling or drugs or doing something that's vanity, gambling, it'll be gone. You gather by labor, you'll increase. Proverbs 10:4, he becometh poor that dealeth with a slack hand, but the hand of the diligent maketh rich. So you work hard, the hand of the diligent, not a slack, wimpy hand, strong hand that'll make rich. But then, Proverbs 23:4, labor not to be rich. Cease from thine own wisdom. The goal should not be to be rich. The goal should be to work hard, take care of our families, and so we can use that money for the Lord. Next, if you work, you will profit, but if all you ever do is talk about it, you'll be poor. Proverbs 14:23, in all labor there is profit, but the talk of the lips tendeth only to penury. Stop talking and get to work. Okay? Stop talking and get to work. By the way, don't miss the last part of this. I'm going to tell you how to be a number one worker. That is powerful. But after I got out of the military, I had a summer job working at the factory where my dad worked, and it was a union job and good pay. And I was amazed. I came home after the first week of work and said, Dad, I thought it was just the first day, but it was every day. Dad, out of that 8-hour day, if they work 3 hours, I'm not exaggerating, if they work 3 hours out of 8, I would be shocked. So, Dad, how in the world can that plant company make any money? My dad was supervision. He said, I know, son, and it's almost impossible to get anybody fired. I mean, they went to breaks all the time, took breaks they didn't have, had to leave 10 minutes early for the scheduled break, came back 10 minutes late from the scheduled break. It's just crazy. What do? Just talk. Tends only to penury. Okay. Next, the slothful refuse to work. Proverbs 21:25. The desire of the slothful killeth him, for his hands refuse to labor. They have a lot of desire of things they want, but they're not willing to work. Their hands refuse to labor. All these principles to teach to your children, okay? All these principles teach your children how important work is. Still remember my oldest boy was probably 10 or so. We were at a funeral out in the country, and some older family came up, and probably 70s, and looked at my son and shook his hand. And my son had a good firm handshake. He said, "You got a good handshake, boy." So you know how to work? I said, "Yes, sir." "Well, you better." He said, "We're bakers. Around here, bakers have a reputation. They're hard workers, so don't you mess it up. You better be a good worker and keep giving the bakers a good name." Okay. Like, well, my son was like, "Wow, Dad." "Oh, yeah, working hard. That's what you're known by. Even a child is known by his doings. You want to be known as a good worker, a good worker." And so then work hard to take care of what you have. Proverbs 27:23. Be diligent to know the state of thy flocks, and look well to thy herds. Look well to thy herds. Take care of what you have. Okay. A good thing to do and to work is to take care of what you have. If the kids ever left something out, it's their job to go put it back out. "Well, they're already in bed. Doesn't matter. Wake up. Go get it. You're not going to leave your bike outside. It's your bike. Take care of it." That'll be the last time that happens. "Oh, well, we'll just take care of it." No, it's their bike. Well, they're sleeping. They'll live. Get them up. Have them go get the bike. Okay? Let them know they need to take care of what they have. And the last little principle on Proverbs in this, a person who will not work wastes his life. Proverbs 18:9. He also that is slothful in his work is a brother to him that is a great waster. Okay? Slothful, lazy. There's a whole other lesson I teach in the book just on being lazy. The opposite of work hard and opposite of working in diligence. But it is gigantic to be able to have our children who know how to work. Now, let me give you this. It's called a number one worker. If you want to judge and help your kids to be able to know where they are, then here's what you do. By the way, when I would work with my boys, we had to go out and cut a tree down and haul it off and cut it all up, and everyone had their jobs. And so I would let a different child be in charge. "All right, you're the boss today. You're the supervisor today." Okay? And so your job to organize and schedule and to be a good boss, to get things done, not to control, not to be mean, to teach them how to be able to lead. And that's a big deal. And when we'd get back with the work, and I would pay them a little bit, so, "All right, I want you to, one, judge yourself. How hard did you work compared to how hard you could have worked?" And they'll judge themselves on a 1 to 10. And then they had to be the boss. "All right, now the other 4 boys, how well did they work?" Give them a 1 to 10. Hey, you're going to be a boss one day. You're going to be in charge. You're going to have to see. And I would have them compare what the other people thought about them, how hard they worked compared to what they thought. And it's amazing how many times it was close. They said, "Well, he did okay, probably a 6, but I think he could have worked harder and he did more of the plan and this and this." And you ask them, "Well, yeah, I would agree." Okay, a self-assessment to see where they are, to see how hard of a worker they are, where they plan, and now they know what we're doing. We go into this, and hey, if you worked up to your potential, even if you're the youngest and you can't do as much as the other one can, but you worked up to your potential, I'm going to pay you more than if you were lazy and didn't do what you could. All right, so 4 types of workers. Okay, we'll start with number 4. Number 4 worker is you tell them what to do and they won't do it. If you've worked jobs for a while, you've been around people like that. You tell them what to do and they won't do it. Got to keep getting on them, They never seem to get the job done. That person won't keep a job. By the way, how many children are that way? You tell them to take out the trash. Tell them to take out the trash. Tell them to take out the trash. Forget it. I'll just do it. Okay, that's what you're creating. You understand that. They will not be able to get a job, keep a job. They won't work. Number 4 worker, bad worker. Number 3 worker, they'll do what you tell them, and then you have to go find them. "All right, son, take out the trash." Okay. And he took out the trash, and now where's he at? You can't find them. They're gone. They're hiding. How many times at work have you seen people like that? They're in the bathroom. They take a smoke break. They're on their phone. They're playing. They're hiding from work. It's not a good worker, okay? He will not be able to keep a job unless the economy just has to have people like we are now. Number two, good worker. They'll do what they're told, and as soon as they're done, they come back and say, "Okay, what's next? All right, what else you got for me? What else do you need me to do?" That's a good worker. That guy will always have a job. He'll get raises. He'll go up. He'll do well. But a number one worker, here's where you want to be. They'll do what they're told, but most of the time you don't have to tell them what to do. They look for what needs to be done and they do it. They look for what needs to be done and they do it. You know what you call that person eventually? Boss, supervisor, owner, because no one has to tell them what to do. They look around and see what needs to be done. We tried with our children even when they were little to do this. We'd have the living room set up. All right, there's 4 things in there that are not the way that they're supposed to be. Go in and find it. We'd bring them in at different times. All right. Oh, the book is left open on the piano. Nope, it's got to be closed and in the stack. Oh, there's a string on the floor and you can see it. Nope, it's supposed to be up. This is not where it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be over here. Where they go and have to look and see what needs to be done. When you get that mentality into them, you don't have to tell them to take out the trash. They see it and do it. They see it and do it. And that's what you want. Isn't it amazing? All the kids can walk by it all day long. It's overflowing and they don't even see it. But mom does. You want your children to be able to see that. Okay? How to be a number one worker. Teach them the biblical principles of work and then follow up practically in the home to be able to make sure that they do that. You will be so glad in life if you were able to teach your children how to work. Okay? A gift, if you haven't got it yet, go to fixfamilies.com and you can get the free book. It's an Amazon #1 best-selling book. It's called The 3 Most Important Things to Teach Your Children. Okay? The work chapter is not in there. It's in the full big book, but you can get that free download and get some good things for you. All right. And in ending, be kind to everyone because everyone is having a tough time. And until next time, get wisdom for your life. It is the principal thing.
Thank you for listening to the Wisdom for Life podcast. If you have any questions for us, email us at askpastorbaker@gmail.com, and we will answer them in an upcoming podcast. The email is askpastorbaker@gmail.com.